Hello and welcome to my March setup. So today I'm going to be using a couple of different prep pens. I have a metallic marker set as well as these celestial washi tapes because for March I'm going to be doing a celestial theme to go with Joshi Curran's Discord channel's March in the Stars challenge they're doing. I've decided to go with gold and blues. I'm just trying to decide which washi tapes I plan on using, as there are a lot of them and they're all so pretty. I absolutely love that gold sparkle. So here I'm just going to start drawing out the calendar for the month, as this is going to be my main look page. I printed out all of this stuff for the titles, as you can see over on the side, but my March seems to have gotten lost, so I'm going to leave that blank for now. I do end up coming back in and just drawing it in later, which you can see in the final flip through. Here I'm just trying to count out and make sure that each day of the month has the same amount of space, so I can write in the boxes what's going on those days and anything else that I'm going to need to remember or want to be aware of whenever I check out this main look page. I use this blue fine liner for all of the boxes, and I kind of get a little crazy and swiggly later on, but for this main calendar I wanted it to stay kind of neat and collected so that I can properly space all that stuff out. I start my weeks with Mondays, even though I have Sunday and Monday off, so it kind of still breaks in my weekend. So I went in with that metallic gold marker and just added little stars, aka polka dots. I just added little dots all around the lettering for the days of the week. Here I realized that there are 31 days, so I had to add myself an extra little box, and that one, as you can see, I freehanded. Now I'm just cutting out my little things. I glue all of my titles down using this Elmer's purple glue stick. And I honestly never, like, my boyfriend had this and let me use it, and I was like, wow, this actually works really well. For some reason, I don't think of Elmer's glue whenever, like, I think of what I used as a kid in school and how it, like, never really held stuff, or it made stuff, like, really sticky or stiff. So I never think about it. I decided to cut that sticker in half so that I can use it on both the top of the page and the bottom of the page to bring them together. My coming up in events box got a little larger than I originally thought. I just don't think I need as much space for those things as I tend to give myself. But, you know, I'll get used to it as I go. This is only my very first monthly setup. So there might be months where I actually can use all that space. Who knows? Getting all those sticky notes out of the way so I can start on the goals page on the next... I think I lost the title here and I'm just looking for it. Yep, so here on my project and action page, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay out this next one. I have project and actions, excited for, nervous for, and then a cleaning list. The cleaning list is all the things that I need to do cleaning wise throughout the month. These are like the once a month kind of cleanings that just to remind me. I'm going in and adding that washi tape on the back of every title. I just love the way it looks peeking out. That one I got a little high on because I covered all of the gold, but you know, once you stick it down, you've kind of committed, so. I make sure to not do that with the rest of them. I just enjoy this like kind of scrapbooky washi tape with something over top of it look, so it peeks out from behind the lettering. Maybe one day I'll get back into trying to draw my titles in, or like write my titles in. So here you can see I'm going back and forth with my lines, and I'm kind of trying to give them that wavy, maybe nebula look. So they have kind of the I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they have that wave intertwining look as they go. So I'm just making sure I'm being really loose with them and I'm swiggling them. And then I go back in with the gold pen and just add in those little dots to give it more of that star spacey vibe. Gotta make sure you're drinking your coffee. I go into these things, I'm kind of more of a chaos crafter, so I go into these things with like a very loose plan. So I knew where I wanted everything to go, like what things need to be on the page, but as far as where they needed to be on the page and how they were going to be laid out, I'm coming up with all those as I go. Here the journal page is like a little stuck together. It must be the end of one of the first signatures, so it's the pages just don't come apart as much, so you can see my little clippy is having a hard time holding on to that page. I really wanted to use this moon somewhere, and I've been trying on so many pages, so finally I was like, oh perfect, and then I'll put the scheme right in the middle of it. Beautiful. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. We're getting rid of the sticky notes and we're going to start on the habit section. If I can get the washi tape free. And I get another sticker. I love these like moon clouds that I have, and they're like planetary clouds and stars. I just got them off of Temu, and I was like, these will be perfect for this first March setup for the in the stars vibe. I was originally going to do a spring feeling, but I'm glad that I went with this to kind of partake in a community, especially with just getting into bullet journaling. I thought that was a fun connection, as well as I already have my setup for March, all my stickers and everything, or not March, April already, and that's going to be pretty florally, so I'm okay with it. So here I'm setting up my meal plan, and I've skipped because I don't know what I want to do with my habit section yet. So I'm going to set up 2 lines, so I'm trying to get directly in the middle. So this will be the date of the meal, as well as the meal that we'll be having. I didn't really think about how many lines I was going to need or how many I would like, or anything like that. But I tend to cook meals where you're going to have leftovers. So leftover meals obviously will be added into there. The idea will just be when I need to get stuff out of the freezer and have things prepped for those meals. And as you can see, I've changed my mind about the habits. So I went and looked up some habit trackers, and I was like, I don't have space for the habits here. I'm going to move them over to the others page so that they have a lot of space. And I moved creative roots up onto the top above the meal plan. So the creative roots section is kind of just my tracking for the month for the YouTube channel and for my other socials. The idea for this panel kind of got lost in translation a little bit, but the idea that I'm using it for now is to just write down what I plan on doing or what I'm like working on, so I can remind myself where I'm at. And then the money scheme up there at the top is just a fun little place for me to put like one thing that I'm going to do this month that can help me make a little extra money on the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the habit tracker. So I've decided to do the tiny calendars where every day you do it, you just mark off the number. I saw this a lot of places and I really thought that was probably going to be the easiest way for me to do it. This was so tedious and time consuming. I didn't have any clue going into it. So I cut so you didn't have to watch me do all those little guys. I had more, but then I was like, some of them could be weekly trackers. So I made a weekly habits tracker right there at the bottom. The setup is really weird for the weekly tracker. So those are just things that I want to do like once a week. But I gave so much space for like the writing. I don't know. It was a very weird choice. And then I put some stuff in there that I don't even want to track weekly. So I don't know. You could just tell, like, I just wasn't 100% sure what I wanted with that space. And I like that it will improve as I do these and learn what I do want and what I don't want and what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Right now I'm completely blind and I'm just going off of what I've seen other people do, and whether or not that will work for me, you know, you don't know. So now we're working on the reflections page. This is going to be the thing that I fill in like the last day of March or the first day of April, sometime after March, to reflect on what happened in March. So I have the challenges of March, the highlights from March, the things I'd like to stop doing, the things I need to start doing, the things that I'm proud of, things that I've learned, and then my prep week list, which I have not yet finished. That washi tape being completely sideways like that, kind of like really off, that's part of that chaos crafting. It annoys Trevor so much. But I really love the way that this reflections page turns out in the very end. Here I'm just making the to stop page a little smaller because I just don't I don't want to focus on negative stuff, so I want to make sure that the to stops are a smaller section because I shouldn't have that many things I want to stop, you know? But I'm excited to fill this in at the end of the month and kind of see what I feel like I did this past month, and really to look back on the month and be grateful for what happened and what I've done and what I've learned. Trying to find another sticker. There are so many good stickers over there, it was really hard to choose. This page got a little moon heavy, I see. And I was all just trying to figure out how much space I wanted for this. And I figured the things I learned panel needed to be pretty big because we're going to a conference this month. And it's one of those that you go to a lot of panels and you hear a lot of really smart people talk. So I'm super excited to go, but I also know that that means I'm going to be learning a lot of things. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough space to write that in. And then the prep week is going to go right here. This is going to be a movable list of things that I want to do on that weird week and every month. And it's just going to move from my reflection page from each month, so I don't have to rewrite it every month. However, I still haven't written it, so I'm hoping that I at least get it done before prep week comes in. Next, we're on to the weekly pages. So I've scheduled all these out starting with the very first week, which is Monday. So it's the 3rd through the 9th. And then I have 4 weeks. Each of these pages is going to be identical, so I'm only going to show myself putting together one. I actually just remembered I mess up on the first page. You can see if go ahead and comment down below if you can tell me how I messed up before I show you guys how I messed up. I'm just getting my title out, placing it right there on the top. This is to remind me what week it is. First week of March, 3rd through the 9th. We're already getting kind of through that at the time of this recording. Well, the voice recording, I did this in March. Or I did this in February. So I have an affirmation for myself, a priorities list, and a to-dos list. On this first page, the affirmation is just a short little statement that I want to remind myself throughout this week, just a reminder. The priorities list will be the things that I want to focus on getting done or that need to be done this month. And the to-do list is more of the things that I'd like to have done this week. But if they don't, they can get moved over to next week. That's totally okay. Then I have the grateful for section at the top. That's going to just be a list of things that I am grateful for throughout this week. The things that like have hit in some way. Right now I am doing my exercise log, which if you've watched my setup video, I didn't have any idea where to put it and I tried to avoid it, but here it is. It finally made it into the weekly section. So I have down there a workout log tracker. So it's just how long I worked out and what type of workout it was, as well as my steps for the week. Instead of adding in a day tracker for steps, I just did one thing. So at the end of the week, I'll add all my steps together and I'll log it right in that little book. I'll log it right in that little box. There we go. Like, that didn't make sense. So I'm just going through with my lines again, all crazy and chaotic. And I really wanted to use that lady somewhere. And I was like, where am I going to put her? But then I was like, this flower would be perfect. So there we go. I haven't used a flower yet, so it was time. I'm also going in and freehanding all this stuff. This was such a nicer way. Like, the monthly one, having to use the ruler for everything, really just was so much harder for me. Like, I liked the way it turned out, so nothing wrong with it, but I really liked just going in and drawing these lines all crazy. Oh, the blank box and exercise log, I almost forgot. I forgot what I was putting in that, so I just left it blank. It does have my weight starting Monday of the week in it currently, so for April, I'll make sure that the weight has its own section. So I'm avoiding putting a sticker in this second spot, this blank spot, because I'm like, I just feel like that's too many stickers on one page. And I just kept thinking, I feel like I'm missing something and that sticker shouldn't, I shouldn't put a sticker there. So here, I'm fixing it. This is week 2. I forgot the actual calendar. So kudos to you if you guessed that correctly. So now I'm going in and adding in my actual calendar. So I made the affirmation spot a little smaller because, let's be honest, it's just a statement. It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to have too much space on this page. And then I moved the priorities and the to-do list down so they're even and added in that space for the calendar. Saturday and Sunday will take up the same box there on the bottom. But yeah, I'm a little off the camera right now. Oops, sorry. I was just going through everything and I was like, I just can't figure out what that blank spot's for. And then I flipped to the next page and I was like, wait, I forgot the days. So here we are at the final flip through. There's my beginning. I wrote the word March in. Creative roots, meal plans, schemes, habit tracker. My end of month reflection page. Must have thought I missed something. And then that opens space for prep week, which I will get in there. Then week 1, I ended up putting the calendar really tiny up in that corner. And I think that worked out really well in order to make sure I still had that. I'm so glad I didn't put a sticker there. And then here is what the rest of them are going to look like with the larger calendar. So I have the space to write actually what I'm doing. And then there's that lady sticker I finally got in there. And there's week 4. And that is the end of the Flip Flu. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below if you like this video, and I'll see you next time in April.